All right, today we are pulling back the curtain on Augusta Precious Metals. They're a huge name in the world of gold IRAs, and we're going to take a really in-depth, honest look at how they work, who they're for, and what the real story is. If you've been curious, you are definitely in the right place.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about the big picture, why people are even looking at gold right now. Then we'll zoom in on Augusta's reputation. After that, we're going to go looking for the dirt. What are the actual complaints? Then we'll cover their unique educational approach, and we'll wrap it all up with our final verdict.
Okay, so first things first, let's set the stage. Why are so many people, especially those nearing retirement, suddenly so interested in gold and silver? It really all comes down to one single fundamental concern. I mean, you look at the economy, right? You see the market volatility, you hear about inflation nonstop. It's no wonder that millions of people are looking at their hard-earned savings and asking themselves this very question. And it's a totally valid concern. And that right there is the problem everyone is trying to solve. You work your entire life to build up this nest egg, and the last thing you want is to see it get chipped away by market turmoil or have its buying power eroded by inflation. And historically, this is where assets like gold and silver have stepped in as a potential safe haven. So, with that growing concern, a whole industry has emerged to help people do just that. And if you've done any research, you've almost certainly come across the name Augusta Precious Metals. So let's dig in and see why they are considered such a top contender in this space. So these guys are not new to the game. They've been around since 2012, and their whole mission, as they state it, isn't just about selling you metals. It's about educating and empowering you, the retirement saver, to make what you feel are the right decisions for your own future. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. It's not just that they have a good rating somewhere, it's the incredible consistency across all these major consumer watchdog sites. An A+ from the BBB, a AAA from the BCA, nearly 5 stars everywhere else. To maintain that kind of record for over a decade is frankly pretty rare, and it says a lot. And this quote right here, it really just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the two things you see mentioned over and over and over in customer reviews: education and a complete lack of high-pressure sales tactics. People feel like they're being taught, not sold to. And then you've got their most famous customer, Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Montana. Now, the interesting part of this story is that he wasn't just a hired celebrity spokesperson. His own financial team did a deep dive across the entire industry to find the best gold company for him, and they landed on Augusta. He became a customer first, and only then became their ambassador. Okay, but a stellar reputation and a celebrity endorsement, that's only one side of the story. For a truly honest review, you have to flip the coin over. You have to actively look for the problems. So what are the complaints against Augusta? And this is honestly where our research took a pretty surprising turn. We dug through the official records of the two biggest players in consumer protection, the BBB and the BCA, fully expecting to find at least a few issues. The number of official complaints we found? 0, not 1. For a company in the financial industry for over a decade, that is almost unheard of. We didn't stop there either. We also scoured legal databases like Uncourt and Justia looking for any signs of trouble. And again, the result was the same. No ongoing lawsuits, no pending legal claims. In an industry where so much money is at stake, a clean legal slate like this is a very, very strong signal. So here's the bottom line. While their official record is basically spotless, the criticisms you do find are really about their business model. That high $50,000 minimum investment is a big one. It tells you right away that they're targeting serious high net worth clients. And the fact that they only offer gold and silver means they're specialists. So if you're looking for platinum or palladium, you'll have to go elsewhere. And that high-touch, focused approach actually leads us right into what is arguably Augusta's biggest differentiator: their intense, almost obsessive focus on education before any money ever changes hands. Yeah, this is a really key detail. Instead of your first call being with a salesperson trying to close a deal, Augusta's process is built around their director of education, Devlin Steele, and his team. He's a Harvard-trained economist, and the whole journey starts with a free one-on-one web conference with his department. And let's be super clear here. This is not a sales pitch in disguise. It is a legitimate, personalized educational session. They're there to give you a deep understanding of the economy, the precious metals markets, and how it all might relate to your personal retirement goals. The whole idea is to arm you with knowledge, whether you decide to invest with them or not.
Now, for those who do decide that this is the right move for them, Augusta has a very streamlined process. They claim to handle about 95% of the paperwork, which is a huge deal. They help you set up a self-directed IRA, which is just a fancy way of saying an IRA that you control, that can hold physical assets. And they do this with a trusted custodian, like Equity Trust, who is the independent company that actually holds the metals for you securely and legally.
So, after looking at their rock-solid reputation, the nature of the criticisms, and their unique educational process, what's the final verdict? Who is this company actually a good fit for?
Well, when you lay it all out like this, the picture becomes crystal clear, doesn't it? The pros are huge. That incredible focus on education, a spotless public record, and a transparent, no-pressure vibe. But the cons are just as clear and just as important. That high $50,000 minimum and a more limited product selection.
So the big takeaway is this. Augusta has tailored their entire service for a very specific kind of retirement saver. This is for someone who has a substantial portfolio and who isn't just looking for the cheapest or fastest transaction, but for a deep educational partnership and a high level of personal service. So, if you're an American retiree with over $100,000 in your IRA or 401k, and this education-first, high-touch approach really sounds like what you're looking for, we've linked to a free guide from Augusta in the description below. It's a great resource to help you continue your research on your own terms. Because ultimately, it really just comes down to this one question. It's not about whether Augusta is good or bad. It's about whether their specific, premium, education-focused model is the right match for you and for how you want to protect your financial future.